Hey everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day so far and thanks for tuning in into this training video. In this video, we're going to be going over the work order module in Contractor Foreman. In case you don't know, work orders in Contractor Foreman are a flexible tool that serves two main purposes. They can be used to add a completely new scope of work to an existing project, or they can be used to assign tasks internally to your employees. Understanding this distinction is key, especially when you're using the other modules within Contractor Foreman. For example, you might be thinking of a work order as a change order. However, there's an important distinction. Think of a change order as a modification to something that's already part of the contract. For example, you might be swapping tile, flooring to hardwood instead. A work order, on the other hand, adds something entirely new to the scope that was never in the original agreement. Maybe you're just remodeling a kitchen, and the client decides they'd also like a patio or a pool. That's a new scope of work, and it's added to the project through a work order, not a change order. The second use case is more internal. Work orders can assign specific jobs to your team, allowing you to track labor hours, materials, equipment, and expenses tied to the assignment. This is similar to what some companies call job work orders, but with one important note. Work orders are not purchase orders, and they are not projects themselves, and they should not be used to assign work to subcontractors, which is handled by the subcontractors module. The subcontracts module. By distinguishing these two purposes, you'll know exactly when to use a work order, when to use a change order, when to use a purchase order, and when to use a subcontract. So, I hope that clears it up, and let's get started. In order to start with the work order, let's head over to our menu and go down to work orders. Once here, you'll note that this dashboard is very similar to the other dashboard modules we have within Contractor Foreman. There's a list of all the different work orders that you've created so far over here, and if you're looking for a specific one, you can use our search function or filter via date range, project, status, and record status if it's active or archived. If you like a Kanban style or a card view, simply click on the card view button, and you can also view the list of all the different work orders that you have as a Kanban dashboard instead. If you prefer this view more, just click on set as default view, and this is what you'll see next time you hop onto work orders. Going back to the dashboard, there's a few more buttons which you're likely familiar with. The first one is a watch a how-to video, which is likely how you got here in the first place. In addition to the video, we also have a number of different articles from our knowledge base, which I'd highly recommend for you to check out to learn more about work orders. We also have a suggest a new feature button. Here at Contractor Foreman, we're always looking to improve, and we're always monitoring this inbox to view suggestions, improvements, tips, questions, guides, etc. from our customers on what they think might be more beneficial to them with the work orders module. We're always, like I mentioned, we're always monitoring this inbox, and we're always launching updates based off the feedback we get from clients, so feel free to drop us a note. And lastly is the module settings. If you'd like to add custom fields or change some of the settings within work orders, feel free to check this area out, and you can assign status colors, add custom fields like I mentioned, add terms and conditions, etc. In order to make a new work order, let's head over to the top right hand corner and click on plus work order. From here, there's a few different things for us to fill out, and please note, any item that has an asterisk beside it means it has to be filled out for us to continue. The first one is the work order number. In this case, it'll be automatically generated as the next work order number in line. If you'd like to add a manual work order number, check out the module settings that I showed earlier, and you can change the settings over there. Let's go ahead and select one of the existing projects that I'm working on, the Do-Drive home renovation, and the subject. I want to install a new fireplace in living room. For the service date, we're going to have this completed by the end of October, and we'll go ahead and get this work started for the 1st of October, and we'll go to create work order. Now in the details tab, there's a few things for us to take a look at together. The service date is something that we filled out earlier, and issued by is automatically going to be assigned to the person who created the work order. You can also add somebody to the invoice to row, and this is in the case that it is not the customer, otherwise it would be the default customer applied to the project. You can add a customer contract number, Because this is an additional scope of work, if there's an additional contract number associated with this, you can enter it here. I'll add 002 for this. And assign to, who's the internal employee or contractor who's going to be managing this work. I'll assign it to one of my internal employees, Amy Brown. You can also add in approval details, which is who approved this additional scope of work and this work order. It might be one of the existing customer on this project, it might be an internal employee, etc. In this example, I'm going to actually send this out for approval, so we'll do this item together. And lastly is the site details. You can mention specifically exactly where this work order is going to be happening in the set of drawings that you have. For the location, I'll put in living room. For the drawing, I'll select the drawing that's associated with. Type is architectural. Page, I don't need this. URL, I don't need this. And for description, I'll put in install new electric fireplace in living room. One important option to note here is the checkbox for no cost work order. If left unchecked, the work order adds its dollar value to the project's overall contract value because we're adding a new scope of work. If checked, it acts purely as a set of instructions for your team without impacting the project financials. This makes work orders useful not only for billing clients, but also for internal job tracking. Because we're installing a new fireplace at the request of the client, we're going to leave this unchecked because we're going to be billing this to the client. In order to start building out your scope of work and the items associated with it, we need to add work order items. In order to do that, we can go to the right hand side, and as you can see, there's 3 different ways to add work order items. Import from cost item database, import from estimate, and add manual work order item. To get things started, I'll go ahead and import from cost item database first. If you have questions about the CIDB or cost item database, feel free to check out our training video on the CIDB. I need to get a new electrical service into the living room and increase the overall electrical capacity on the house. So in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead to my subcontractor, choose equipment and labor for 2 days, which I need, and hit save. And it's automatically imported, and I'll increase the quantity to 1. In addition, I also need to get the fireplace, the electric fireplace for the customer. So I'll go ahead and click on Add Manual Work Order Item. Click on Electric Fireplace. For item type, I'll choose material. And for cost code, I'll do electrical as well, or electric heating. For quantity, I'll put in 1. The new electric fireplace is $1,500 lump sum. And I'll apply a material markup of 15% on this. If you'd like to do a dollar value markup, you can simply click on the $sign as well. So now my total revenue for this line item is going to be $1,725, and my internal cost is going to be $1,500. I can add a description which is visible to the client. Electric fireplace to be installed in living room. And we can add this item to our materials list, a material items list, so next time it's easier to import. And we can choose to also collect tax on this item, which I'm going to leave for blank as well. And lastly, if an internal note is needed for our team, we can also add that in as well. So now that this is done, I'll go ahead and hit save and close. And my work order is almost ready to be billed out. Before we submit this work order, there's a couple more things that we can do. On the left-hand side, we can go to terms and add any terms and conditions to this work order. For example, I'll add all invoices must be paid within 30 days. Under files, we can include any files, photos, or any other relevant documents associated with this work order. For this example, I'll go ahead and upload the specs of the new fireplace that I'm installing. Once ready, I'll hit attach, and that's it. And for notes, I'll go ahead and we can include any internal notes that are needed for this work order that we'd like to keep copied over here. Once ready to go, we can now go to the top right-hand corner and click on View/Email PDF. We can choose one of the 2 existing templates, field use or office use. And once it's ready, we can hit Submit for approval, and it'll be emailed over to the client. Or we can also download it and download it as a PDF and send it to them separately. Once it's been sent out, we can update the status to submitted, And once it's been approved, we can get it approved. And for approved by under approval details, we can choose whoever it was, which in this case is the client. Now that the work order has been approved, one important thing to note is that when you're billing to the client, and once the work order is on the approved side, it's now added as part of the project's schedule of values. So if you're using the SOV or the schedule values in order to bill to the client, you can simply import this work order into your schedule of values and bill it alongside it. In order to make an invoice separately, if you like to do that, simply head over to the top right where the three dots are, click on create/modify invoice, and you can automatically and very quickly generate an invoice for this work order. And that's pretty much it for work orders. Work orders in Contractor Foreman are more than just task trackers. They're a way to expand scope, manage internal assignments, and keep every piece of work tied back to the project. By using them correctly, you'll maintain clarity with your team, transparency with your client, and accuracy in your financials. If you need help or have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us by the live chat or send us an email at support@contractorforeman.com. And if you'd like to have any more in-depth training, make sure to book a session on our training page. Thanks for watching and see you in another video.